What is going on, guys? It's Salvajee. So here we are back at it again with another Widowmaker map guide series episode. We're taking a look at Temple of Anubis in this episode. So if you guys saw Volskaya and Hanamura, you guys know that I wasn't able to show you guys a lot of rare slash secret Widowmaker spots, but there are a lot of great slash rare spots slash secret spots with Widowmaker in Temple of Anubis. So I'm really excited to bring you guys this map guide. Now, if you're new to my map guide series, this series is all about showing the players beginner slash general Widowmaker spots, as well as of course some rare slash secret Widowmaker spots. Okay, since there are a lot of rare spots in this map, guys, I'm not going to be going too in depth into the other general slash beginner spots for Widowmaker. Okay, so when you first start out, you guys can actually grapple shot over here and, you know, shoot people that are on the bridge. And I just want to let you guys know, after you guys are done watching this video, you're probably never going to struggle when it comes down to getting the first point with Widowmaker. Okay, this first point can be a huge pain, specifically if there's a lot of enemies over there. Trust me, after you guys watch this video, you're not going to struggle with it. So obviously this is a very good general spot. This is a really good beginner spot for Widow as well. And of course this spot is good as well, since it covers the entire point, this high ground area, this high ground area, and this area right here. Okay, but now let's talk about, let's get into some of the secret spots slash rare spots. So this little area right here, my friends, can be a huge pain, and if you play Widowmaker, obviously you know that. So when you first start from spawn, okay, instead of going for a grapple shot, you guys can actually just stand right here and then see if you guys can get a cheeky elim. I guarantee you the enemy team is not going to see it coming. The enemy team is not going to see an elimination coming in so early in the match, because they usually expect Widowmakers to perch up there. If you do it from up here, again, they're not going to see it coming. You might be able to get a Torbjorn that's over there, something like that. You guys can also use this statue right here. And guys, these statues, they're more useful than you guys think. I rarely see these statues used. I've only seen these statues been used once. Okay, and my friends, I have a lot of Widowmaker hours. Okay, so we're over here on the second statue. You guys can just jump on this, jump on that, and then you guys move a little bit towards the left, and look at that, you guys have access to that bridge area right there. Of course, this one isn't a great spot, but sometimes there are Widowmakers and Soldier 76s that likes to shoot from this area right here, and of course this area gives you a lot of protection. This sight line also gives you a lot of protection. Obviously this sight line right here also gives you a lot of protection. And of course, let's say that you're here, right? You know, you see that an enemy Winston is jumping on you. You guys can grapple on to this little I guess you could say ship, and look at that, you're basically safe. You guys can also stand here when you're on the defense if you want to get a cheeky elim with Widowmaker. However, I don't really recommend it, honestly. This top area right here is, of course, really good. When you're on defense with Widowmaker on, you know, this side of the spectrum, you guys can come up here and, of course, use this spot as well. Okay, let's say that you're attacking with Widowmaker. You know, there's pesky people up there, okay? So what do you do? Well, what you guys want to do is you guys want to come to this right side right here. And something that I never see a lot of Widows do is come up here. You guys can come up here. You guys have access to this high ground area right here. Okay, let's say that there's a team fight going on the point. All right, there's a soldier on the high ground. Bam, you guys can take him out from here. You guys can also shoot the enemies that are over here, as well as over here as well, and of course the enemies that are over here. Listen, guys, sometimes, you know, your team is on the point. You know, they're on point 1 and you guys are helping them out from all the way over here. However, there is a major flaw about this spot right here. Yes, it's used in the Overwatch League. It's really good. Okay, but remember, people in the Overwatch League, they have good aim, so they can afford to get to the spot right here. So what you want to do, you know, if your aim isn't the best, and honestly, not even if your aim isn't the best, this is just a really good spot in general. You guys can grapple on to this little area right here. It's actually this one. Okay, yeah, so it's actually this little edge right here. Make sure you use your grapple, jump a little bit, move forward. But yeah, you guys can grapple onto this area right here. And look at that, guys. You guys have access towards the entire point. Not the entire point, but basically this entire area right here. And of course, you guys don't have access towards the stair area. Of course, you can't really see, you know, where the enemies are coming from, you know, when they're coming from spawn. But again, this is a really good spot. And one of the things about this spot is that it can be used if you guys are over here and if your grapple wants to behave. So, you know, let's say that you just took out one person from up here, maybe 2 people. Okay, and of course you're on the point. Your team is on the point, enemies are on the point. They already know that you're here, so be unpredictable, guys. You know, you guys can grapple onto this area right here, and look at that. You basically switch positions. The enemy team has no idea that you're here. This spot also works, of course, if there's people camping up here as well. You guys can use this area right here, of course, to kill the campers that are over here, as well as over here as well, but it's not really as practical as this one right here. You guys can also grapple on to, you know, this little area right here. Of course, you guys have also access towards the point, as well as this little area right here. And the same thing applies to this one right here. This one doesn't really give you a lot of access towards the point, as you guys can see. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys understand what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? This spot, it's really, really good. If you are on the defensive side of things, okay, you guys can, of course, grapple onto this spot right here. And, you know, maybe there's a team fight going on over there. Maybe you can, of course, shoot the people that are over there through here. Let's say that you're here, right, with Widow. You know, you see that the Winston jumped in, or, you know, maybe somebody else jumped in, right? Or maybe the Reinhardt is basically moving towards the point. All right, you guys can grapple on over here. And as you guys can see, you guys can help out with the Reinhardt that's basically just moving towards the point, okay? Now, of course, let's talk about that later, because, of course, we are focusing on the attacking side of things right now. You guys can also grapple on to this little area right here. It gives you access towards the enemy spawn, as well as this area right here as well. So this little area slash, I don't know, spot slash position can also be used on the attacking side of things as well. If there's a team fight going on over there, you know, you guys can, you know, basically just be up here. If you don't want the Widowmaker to snipe you from over there, you guys can, you know, just grapple on to this little thingy right here. If you can manage to make the grapple behave, my friends. Of course, when you guys are attacking, you guys can also use this spot right here. And yeah, guys, honestly, this little area right here, it's really, really good when you're attacking with Widow and you want to get rid of the people that are over here in this area. When you are defending with Widowmaker, keep in mind, you guys can actually use this spot, you know, from all the way over here. Let's say that the Reinhardt's moving in. Hey, it's all good, Ryan. I'm just going to charge up here and I'm going to take out your back line, or, you know, basically whichever heroes are on this little area right here. Now keep in mind, guys, let's say you're defending with Widowmaker, okay, you know, the enemies are over there. Why be over here in the open where you can get easily jumped at, instead of being over here, okay, when you're basically hiding? And you know, it's basically going to be harder for teams to of course get to you when you're over here on the high ground. Let's say that there's someone on the point. You guys can actually use this little, you know, head glitch right here. It's pretty okay. This area right here, very, very useful, but I'm not going to go too in depth into it because, of course, it's just a general spot. When you guys are attacking with Widow, you guys can grapple on over here to this little area right here. As you guys can see, the people that come from spawn. You guys can see this high ground, the stairs right here, as well as, of course, basically almost the entire point. Alright, when you're attacking with Widow also, you know, the enemy is going to be coming in. You guys can camp up here. This is just a basic spot. I'm not going to go too into it. You guys can also camp up here. It gives you access to this area right here, as well as this area right here. You guys can also come over here, snipe your enemies as they come from spawn, or you guys can also just camp on over here. As you guys can see, you guys can also snipe the enemies from spawn. Now, what's the one I choose? I choose this one right here because I use this little passageway when I'm getting back to the point on attack a lot, and that's why I like to, you know, basically come up here. It gives me access to basically all three of the areas where the enemy can come from. Alright, if you're defending with Widow, you guys can camp on this spot over here. This is a really good spot. Obviously, I already touched upon this spot. I'm not gonna go too into it. You guys can also use the bridge, okay? And the basic reason why you want to use the bridge is because it gives you access to all of this area right here. If your team moves on forward towards the point, okay, or the enemy team, I mean, moves on forward towards the point, you guys can basically just camp up here. Okay, wait for the enemy team to get on the point. As they're fighting your teammates, you guys can just get some easy headshots on them. If you're defending with Widow, you guys can also, you know, be on this little area right here. Really, really good. This area right here also works very, very well, obviously. Okay, so another spot that I don't really see a lot of people use, and this spot is used in the Overwatch League. You guys can actually use this spot right here. It gives you access to this area, as well as, of course, the beginning area right here. And when the enemies are charging into the point, you guys can grapple onto this little high ground over here, and you guys can basically focus on the enemies that are going on point. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. Salvajee, this spot isn't as practical. I know. That's why there's this spot right here, which gives you even higher ground access. And obviously, I would recommend this spot over that one right there. But I do want to go over all or most of the spots, of course. This spot basically gives you access to the stairs as well as the high ground area right there, which sometimes soldiers, you know, like to go into. You guys can use this bottom ground area right here with Widow. You guys can also use this little area right here, use the fountain as cover. You guys can hide in this room as well. When you're also defending with Widowmaker, you guys can use this little area right here. It's not the greatest, but you know, from over here, you know, you guys can grapple onto this area right here. I guess kill the Ryan that's going to be coming over here. What would I recommend that you guys do? So let's say you know that the enemy team is going to go on the point. You might just want to grapple on over here. Okay, or of course you guys can grapple onto this high ground area, which is of course very difficult to reach for most of the characters. However, from this area right here, you're going to be closer to the enemy's line of fire, so they're most likely going to be focusing you. And of course, you are going to have, I guess you could say, a harder time aiming because, you know, you're really high in the air. Okay, but of course, I guess the same can be said for that little spot right there. And with that said, my friends, we're going to move on forward, of course, to the second spot in Temple of Anubis. You guys can stand on this little area right here when you're attacking with Widowmaker, and you guys have access to this entire line of sight, the high ground, the right as well. You guys can grapple on over here, and of course, you guys have a basic line of sight towards the point, really good. You guys can use this spot right here. This spot, of course, is used a lot in quick play, as well as, of course, the Overwatch League. Really good spot. You guys can also jump on to this area right here as well. And of course, just in case you guys didn't know, you guys can just jump up here to this thing, and then just jump on over here. You don't even need to grapple. This spot, of course, works really good on the defensive side of things as well as the attacking side of things. You guys can come over here on attack, crouch, and as you guys can see, you can snipe enemies as, of course, they are coming in. When you're attacking with Widow, okay, you guys can also grapple onto this spot right here. And as you guys can see, you have access to most of the point as well as, of course, the enemy spawn area right here. This is a spot that doesn't get a lot of use, but keep in mind, guys, this spot could be the difference between you winning the match or not. Not only does it give you access to the enemy spawn, but on top of all that, it gives you access to, you know, what's going on at the point as well. And keep in mind, look at this, my friends. You guys can just grapple on over here because, of course, this is also another good spot when you're attacking with Widowmaker. This is also a good spot. Something that I like to do is I like to come up here, then I drop down here, and then I just jump to this little crate right here because it gives me access to, of course, the enemy spawn and basically half the point. You guys can also jump on over here. Yeah, that's basically what I was trying to say with the grapple as well. Let's say that your teammates want to go this way. Okay, you guys can stand here, you know, shoot people that are on the point. However, if you stand over here on this little thingy right here, you're sort of like on an even more playing field, and you can see the point even better. Keep in mind, you guys can also use this spot right here when you guys are attacking. It's a really good spot. It gives you access to the entire point. This is more of a situational type spot, but if you guys are on defense, you guys can stand here. It gives you an entire line of sight to this area right here. You guys can grapple on over here for escaping. Yeah, this inside area doesn't really give you a lot of options, but you're most likely not going to be in this spot. It gives you access to this high ground area, this area as well, and of course the enemy point as well. But yeah, you're not likely going to be in that area. Alright, so let's say that you're fighting over here. A Winston jumps in. You guys can grapple on to this little area right here, and I guess you could say spray him down. This little rooftop, you know, not really a good spot, but I don't know, maybe there's a Lucio, you know, wall riding. You guys can shoot him from here, I guess. Okay, so with that said, we move on forward to the defense side of things. You guys can get behind this little barrier, box, whatever you want to call this thing. You guys can get behind this box and you guys can shoot through here. I actually learned that by watching Overwatch League, not gonna lie. You guys can be cheeky, as I like to say, and greedy. Okay, and you guys can get up here and basically snipe enemies as they come from spawn. I've done this a lot in quick play. It's honestly the best, okay? You guys can also just you know, drop down here if you guys want, you know, so your Mercy can heal you, bam, and then you just pop back in. You guys can also get on top of the box as well. You guys can also grapple on over here. If there's a soldier on this rooftop for some reason, if there's somebody over here that's coming from the entrance, you guys can snipe them from here, go back to the point over here. Obviously, I mentioned this spot already, but I'm going to mention it again. This is just a really good spot. Respect this position, my friends. Honestly, it's really, really good. Alright, you're over here, you're sniping with Widow, people come on the point. Guess what, guys? Use the attacker spot that I gave you. You know, this little area right here. There's a Ryan fighting on the point. You guys can just snipe him from here if he doesn't even have his shield. You guys can also just grapple on over here. And yeah, once you're done, you guys can just get on over to this area right here. You guys can jump on this area here as well, you know, when the enemy team is attacking. As you guys can see, you guys have access to all of those areas right there. And of course, you guys can grapple onto this cube right here. When you're getting out of that spawn trap door, you know, instead of being over here an easy target, you guys can grapple onto this box, and then you guys have access towards the entire point, this area right here as well. Also, let's say that, you know, the enemy team is about to push in. You guys can grapple onto this position, and as you guys can see if they are basically coming from the right side. And yes, you can shoot through these thingies, okay? It's honestly really, really good. Hey guys, you know, you just saw you saying, hey guys, they're coming from the left. You know, I see them all in the left. And, you know, basically now your team knows. If you guys are coming out from spawn, you guys can also grapple onto this thing. It gives you access to basically that entire area of the point. If you're a pretty mean Widow, the enemy team knows you're good. You grapple onto this area right here and you just start shooting, okay? And you're basically gonna zone out the enemy team from this area. If you have a Winston with you, if you have a tank with you, and then your team goes the other way around and you just zone them out through here by shooting Widow bullets or Hanzo arrows, your team's going to be able to, of course, do some serious damage. You guys can also camp up here. You know, gives you access to this little area right here if there's any enemy over here. Lets you see this area, and of course it lets you snipe the players that are coming from this side over here as well. You guys can also use this spot, by the way, when you're defending with Widow. It's actually a really, really good spot if you want to get, you know, some cheeky elims as well. And of course, this area right here, honestly, I didn't really mention it because I completely forgot. So thank God I saw it. You guys can use this on defense, but of course, mostly you want to use it on attack. You guys can grapple on over here. And as you guys can see, you guys have access to some areas of the point. The only way that this spot is practical is if there's a Torp turret on the point, or if there's, like, you know, just an Orisa that's, you know, concentrating on a team fight that's over there. Keep in mind, you know, you're Widowmaker. You should have some sense of what's going on in the game and where the heroes are at. And of course, you guys can also use this little spot right here and snipe the enemies as they come. And yeah, there's not really anything useful over here on this area. I hope you guys enjoyed my Widowmaker map guide for, of course, Temple of Anubis. If you guys enjoyed it, feel free to, you know, drop it a like, subscribe to join the Salvajee cartel. And I'll be seeing you guys on my next Widowmaker map guide series. Feel free to check out the playlist in the description below if you enjoyed the video. Okay, peace out, guys. Have a great day.